Over to you, Raja.
Okay, thank you. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. So what I'd like to do for this session, with your permission, Nara, is I just want to round up a few of my thoughts and observations. But as part within that, I'm going to ask some questions for opinions from a few of you. Hope you're all present. So I'll have a question for Nara, a question for Pauline, a question for Councillor John, and a question for John Pua. So I hope you're still here and paying attention and ready to help me close off the session. Firstly, I have to say, I am just totally amazed and thunderstruck and overawed by how the event has gone. And those of us who are still around when we did the first one in 2007 would never have dreamed beyond wildest imagination that it would come as far as it has. So I'm overwhelmed really by the hard work that everybody has put in, the visioning. It's all about capturing the vision of what we're trying to do. And it just amazes me that so many people have sort of bought into that and warmed to the whole concept and have generated the last few days of so many wonderful presentations and contributions. So that's my first comment. And I've omitted to say that at the end of this, I understand that Pak Ellias is ready to make a contribution. I hope he's going to entertain us with some musical interlude. So I got the message that he'll be ready towards the end of this session for a few minutes contribution. So please remind me to cue that, and don't go away until we get there. So having said what I just said, I suppose the conclusion has to be that there's a silver lining to everything, as people say. And we've discovered that, let's say this time last year, it was really doubtful that we'd be able to do anything around the knowledge fair in the face of this pandemic. But the silver lining is what we've all just experienced over the last few days. And I'm really drawn, facing something of a dilemma, because the team has worked so hard, the people participating have done so well to make a contribution. The technology has been more or less seamless. And I'm wondering, is this the way we're going to go in the future? So, and talking about the future, you may have noticed, I certainly did, twice during the earlier presentation with Jahari, he said the next EBKF next year. So I underscore next year. Now, as you know, we've never done it 2 years in a row, but Joe seems to be thinking that we'll be doing another one next year. So that's my first question, because I'd love it if that would be possible. But if we did that, can I turn to Councillor John for my first question? Because is if we do it virtually again, and the Malaysian movement control order has dropped, and let's hope that the pandemic is more or less gone by then, does that mean I won't be able to travel to Sarawak? Because I'd be very upset if that were the case. So my question to Councillor John is, if we do another knowledge fair next year, or even not, if we wait another year after that, do we still need a physical knowledge fair? Can we still, or should we still come to Sarawak and up into the highlands to do it? John.
Thank you very much, Dr. Gatu. I think it's quite interesting question. And I think I do believe that with this technology, the physical and the visual, so I think we can always create hybrid, where we gonna do a physical one when this thing is, the pandemic is, the SOP is open. So I really like to have a physical one. And also we can hybrid it with the visual. So I think we are getting more in that sense. So talking about organizing it yearly, and that is also very interesting for me, because I think we cannot wait for knowledge to come around far too long. People want immediate, instant Maggi mee, where you eat it straight away. So I think if we prolong it too long, and I think the so-called excitement, creating excitement, to sustain. And I was thinking along the line that we can create some mini EBKF. You see, you can create a mini EBKF along the line, and then of course in the second year, as usual, then you have the grand EBKF. So I think that my sharing here.
Wonderful, thanks, John. Great idea, and great to have your support for continuing with the physical. That's what I was hoping to hear. And it seems, there was a comment this morning from friends across the ocean describing their work with Indigenous communities in Canada. They have to move at the speed of the speed of trust. And earlier Nara picked that up, and I have a feeling we'll be hearing more of this phrase. I'm going to be using it again for sure. But I think the relevance here is, for us, the speed of trust is quite fast. In fact, seems very fast. So let's build on that and take on your suggestion, John, and start to move more quickly, because the trust is there. Obviously, I don't think there's any doubt about that. The trust between participating communities and the UNIMAS team and other partners, I think, is substantial enough to enable us to pick up the pace, as it were, and as you say, maybe do something else next year, whether it's virtual, physical, or hybrid, which I think sounds great. Would be wonderful. That's my first question to John T, Councillor John. My next question is for John Poor. There's been an awful lot of technology in use over the last 5 days, and my observation is, although the knowledge fair is still in keeping with its original idea, but the discussion about the technology and the problems of the technology have kind of, I wouldn't say disappeared, but they've been subsumed by discussions around the substantive issues, like climate change, cultural preservation, education, knowledge sharing, and such like. And even our use of the technology now is almost transparent. I mean, we've had no major glitches. We've had people from remote communities participating equally, and that's really impressed me. The technology just really part of an everyday tool. So I wonder, from your perspective, your knowledge and background, John, how does the knowledge fair, in the way that we're running it now, maybe it's too early to draw opinions, but how do you, at the end of the 3-4 days that we've been doing it, what do you think has been the impact on community members and the people that you work with more closely than me to using this technology, using Zoom, and talking generally about technology as though everybody's got it and everybody can use it? Perhaps you can shed some light on that question. You have to unmute so that we can hear you. John, you have to unmute.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I think the impact are quite different. But you see, when I try to contact Post Lenjang, I think they can do it actually when we had this what they call audio video communication. But I think the problem is the site we have. I think the site itself has also many challenges. I think for Post-Lenjang, I think the battery is dead, yeah. So they have to find other ways to communicate with us, with me. So in Post-Lenjang, they have the, I think they have the commercial, I can't remember, it's Connect Free, was it? Connect Free, there's a name for it. So they have to buy, I think a 12 ringgit byte, yeah, then they communicate. But then that's very short. So what I tried to do is mainly sending audio because of the preparation for the community scholarship. So I asked Zaid, yeah, Zaid is one of the one who managed the Post-Lenjang Telecenter. So he managed to send the video that you saw for the local champion, Ramli. Yeah? But then after that, Ramli fell sick. Yeah, I don't think it's because of the asking of the video clip, yeah, but he was sick. And then a few days later, I remind them to send some contribution. They comments on the 2-3 questions on the benefits of e-center, and then the COVID, as well as what do they want us, UNIMAS, to do as well, whether to follow up the projects. Yeah. So I couldn't get that, and then they send a few audio, but the one from for Ramli, that's the champion didn't come through, so I have to improvise. Yeah, as much as we try to do something, we still have problem. I think this problem, I think the government has to come in to support telecenters in the long term. And that's why in my discussion with some of the people around me, our cycle as a telecenter Chipwa, our cycle is a research cycle. Yeah, but then we have to convert ways to make it a project cycle, which means the government of the day has to what they call a take over. For Lamai, Lamai also faced some problem. I think the problem of communication before preparation for EBKF Act. I think one of the main problem is the weather. It has been raining the past few weeks. So Sasha, Garen's wife, I think Sasha tried to communicate, and she says that if the weather permits, then they can communicate. So I also asked them to send audio. I think the audio clip, at least he sent some short ones. And then the communication is also, when I send the questions, the question to Lenjang, they come back, yeah, can you talk to us? Yeah, because the script, the text is not, they couldn't get it, I think. So I have to send the text, I have to talk to them to explain the questions and probably give example. So the hearing voice is still needed. Yeah, I think text maybe for urban people it's okay, but the older generation, they need to hear your voice to know what you're doing. I think it's more to know that the other side is a human being. Yeah, I think we have progressed quite a lot. I think from Post-Lenjang, but a lot yet has to be done. Yeah, that's on the communication side. And then the other side is my concern of data. Yeah, as much as data and communication tools are available, then the question of data, who owns and who have access. And so that's the other concern, because we trust our fellow researchers. Yeah, I think sometimes fellow researchers overlook the importance of acknowledging the source. Yeah? I think for papers, for journals or books, we acknowledge the source of the findings. So my suggestion is probably we just extend it to acknowledge the source, that the source is from this village or this person. That's all probably that will help our researchers. Yeah, I think, yeah, we have done a lot, I think, but then we also know the dangers of data if they're not protected. Yeah, and they are, I don't know whether ICT you also look at that. I think we have discussed this earlier during Prof Alvin's time, that we need to have some kind of control, some kind of a protocol between universities and the village. Yeah? The village are actually very nice people. They'll share whatever they want to share. But sometimes the researchers overlook that those data being not properly acknowledged. Thank you.
Right. Yeah.
That's all I.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, these are
Dr.
problems are quite familiar.
Dr. Roger.
So obviously, oh, sorry, John. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I'm just listening to Dr. John Pua on this, and I think it will be good if we have a postmortem after this. Then I'm very sure that we need to compile all this problem, and then I'm sure we can always get some help in a sense like infra. I mean, we have to compile all this thing to attend to the government, to attend to sponsors. And I think those things we can bring up in the post-mortem. Then we can come up with a concrete way how to solve those problems. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thanks, John. I agree. We already started discussing that, and maybe you could participate at the right time when we've arranged that. I mean, we've always done it in the past, and I think that's an excellent idea for this time as well. So thanks for that contribution. So yeah, but just coming back to what John was saying, Dr. John, those are issues that we came up against in the Highlands some years ago, and by and by, I mean, obviously with connectivity, solutions have been found, and I think that's largely as a result of the work of the team promoting the benefits of the technology and encouraging government to extend their infrastructure so that more people can enjoy those benefits. Obviously, in the case of the Orang Asli projects, that process still needs to be gone through. So there's still work to be done, I would say, to bring the benefits that technology can bring into policy dialogues and encourage further extension of infrastructure, communications infrastructure, so that those benefits can become more substantial and more widespread. So thanks for those comments, John. I'd just now like to come to Nara with my question for him. Congratulations on operationalizing the Community Scholar Program, which has gone again. I'm just awed. It's far better than anything I could have expected. And congratulations on taking the initiative to kind of unilaterally get it started. I guess a lot of times it's easier to ask permission than it is to, ask forgiveness than it is to ask permission. But now we're probably at that point, because you mentioned earlier it has to go through the Senate. So let's assume we can continue under our own steam with any further developments that we might like to implement, such as a workshop on the role and support that these individuals can play and that we can provide. But can you give us a sense of timescale for what you suggested as like formal recognition? First of all, involving the next step to implement the program that we've outlined after finalizing it, of course, and then getting formal recognition from the university. Any sense of a timescale on that?
Well, you asked me a very difficult question, Roger.
Well, of course, that's why you're there, to answer them.
All right. Well, I'm under strict guidelines from Dr. Poline Bala that I cannot speak flowery, right? So I will speak straight to the point, right?
I like it when you speak flowery.
All right. Okay.
I didn't realize that Roger likes flowers, so go ahead, Nara.
So
everybody are tired. You need to be flowery so we can laugh.
All right. This community scholar idea. I mean, I was playfully talking about it to a lot of people. I mean, everybody says, yeah, but nobody does anything. Right? I mean, because I know I approach even my vice chancellor, I told him, we need this program and this will do, so I was doing all the talking, but people must have thought that this guy is, off his mind already or something. I don't know, probably that's what I can imagine. But nobody took me seriously until we came this time around with EBKF 8, when all the planning just came into one place. I mean, I asked Roger, we need a write-up. He said, I've done it already a few years ago or something like that, you know. So it seemed like everything we needed was there, but the timing was not right. This time, the timing was just perfect. Things started falling into the picture, and I can tell you, I cannot take credit for this thing. I cannot take credit because that would be, I mean, in a way, blowing my trumpet, you know, thinking myself grand if I did that. It's not true, because this whole thing is a collective work. It is a collective work of a lot of people who wanted this. You know, let me tell you, Councillor John Tarawi. I mean, I have to talk about this guy here. You know, let me try to make him blush or something. You know, but anyway, this guy, he's a dreamer. He's a dreamer, and sometimes he thinks of things that academics like us would not imagine. You know, so he's telling me, you know, Nara, we need to do this, you know. So I said, yes, sir. Well, I just took it as, let me push this one all the way. Let me just try it out. I didn't know it will work or not, but I thought this is a kind of an impetus, I mean, a kind of a trigger that says, okay, yes, this might be the time, let's go all out. And fortunately, I have friends like all of you. I have friends like all of you that we can take on a challenge most people cannot solve. So that's really what has happened about the Community Scholar Program at the eBorneo Knowledge Fair. So this is really the story to tell so far. And well, sometimes I realize that if I try to be patiently waiting for the bosses to say yes and then do something, and I just realized that if I were to do that, I will contribute towards a delay, and that delay could cause maybe the project doesn't happen. So most of the time, I just tend to be, you know, I mean, that's what Enghu tells me, you know, Nara, do first, later you apologize. Right? Now, if someone teaches you how to do that, what more you can do? And I do that. And, you know, can you imagine when all the bosses were there, I was putting things on their plate. And that's not me. It's not me. It's just because our team, I know we are ready. We are ready. So if our bosses are willing to stake their neck, when I present in Senate, somebody must just shake their head. The moment they shake their head, I think I will have enough partners. I know Poline will be there. Well, I just have to find a few friends to also defend me at that time, right? So we will be able to together push that channel out. And once that is done, then we can say we in UNIMAS are the first ones to really put the community scholar in their correct place. So I have indirectly answered your questions in terms of timing. The timing is dependent on this, but it doesn't stop while this process is going on. While this process is going on, what we can do is, what I suggested to Safura just now is, can you form a group with all our names? I mean, since you guys decided to be here, please, if I don't have your email, I mean, please send us. I think what we want is, we probably need to look at our fellows who are going to do something. So we will have an active team who are going to do different parts. I know Roger has already worked out the program for the community scholar, how they can do something interesting. That's already a fantastic start, but we need executable programs on the ground. So we need to have clear indications for the community scholar exactly what their role is. We need clear indications for the Senate what their role is. We need clear indication for every stakeholder, maybe an industry who may come and sponsor. You know, so we got to think of a reason for the existence of every individual, including the Barrio Community Museum, Barrio Radio. You know, all the artifacts that we have, all the projects that we have it is an excuse for us to bring all of them back in. And when the initiative to bring the alumni together was done as part of EBKF 2021, the intention was to bring in more friends, because we are short in numbers and we ourselves cannot achieve all the big dreams we have. We need everyone, whoever has committed themselves maybe 5 years ago. We just remind them, can you do this bit for me? That's all we need. And let's work on, let's make our world grow larger and larger by being more and more inclusive. Let everyone who's supposed to do the job, like the mayor just now. So I don't know if I was intruding too much, but my intention was not to bog him with anything. I just wanted him to see that he has a friend. So I suppose I was a bit harsh, but I got the message, right? So hopefully in this way, together, we can all do something more, and each of us just need to play one small instrumental part. Do what you are meant to do what you can do better than others, but do it. Thank you for that.
Thanks, Nara. Beautifully put. Not at all flowery. So well done. Okay, so we look forward to hearing more on that. And so that brings me to my final question, which is for Pauline. I hope you're still there. My observation at the moment, having gone through 3-4 days, is, you know, the original kind of idea behind having a knowledge fair was to get away from the constraints of academic conferencing. As somebody mentioned earlier, 45 minutes presentation and 10 minutes Q&A, and the idea of flip-flopping that whole model on its head. So the academics get 10 minutes to present their results, and the community recipients then have the 45 minutes or an hour to discuss around them. When we first suggested that, I remember getting kind of blank stares from some of the researchers. As one comment was made, just difficult to do that. Well, we managed it, and we realized, we've learned, I think, that academics who really know their stuff can tell their story in 10 minutes. If they need longer than that, then they don't really know their stuff. And my sense is that that lesson has been has become embedded. And so we didn't have any long, detailed academic presentations. I don't think I ever heard the word theory in the last 3 or 4 days. And no discussion of methodology or qualitative or quantitative data. It was all real life issues as they're affecting communities. However, having said that, I'm acutely aware as an ex-academic that you need to publish. You need to publish to survive. Academics need KPIs in order to keep their jobs, in order to get promoted, in order to be invited to conferences, to give keynote speeches, and in order to gain recognition and stay active. So my question then, Pauline, is, out of the events of the last few days with the Knowledge Fair, surely there are publishing opportunities for the people who presented their findings and for their colleagues and their teams. And is it incumbent on us as a team of organisers, let's say the core team, to provide some assistance or to prompt people who've told their stories, which actually includes non-academics, because as we've all done, we've tried to include community scholars in to give them, acknowledge them in our academic publishing. So how can we stimulate those outputs from the Knowledge Fair so that colleagues are able to keep up their ration or quota of KPIs?
Thank you, Roger. I think we have discussed this outside this platform earlier. look into possibilities of publication out of this conference. There have been some very interesting discussion. There will be some very interesting points that we can run with in both ways, in two ways. I think one is to conceptualize those things into research project, and then also to publish works that has already been discussed, as you have mentioned. I guess the next move is basically to call out those ones who gather those ones that have presented and see how we can move forward with getting those papers published and with collaborative writing. I think the other thing also, now we have the community scholars. I think it is something that we have discussed for quite a while. There's a number of write-up that we have looked into the concept, the different community scholars in concept and being practiced in different parts of the world. They have different ways of looking at community scholars. And I think here in UNIMAS, we came up with a particular way. I think the way we define community scholars might be quite different from how Cornell define community scholars. So I think in this case, now that we recognize them along the line that they are knowledge holders, that they are knowledge bearers in their respective communities, so that we can then work, not only we work in terms of practice, but also in terms of our writing to write with them. I like Jason's title of his talk the other day, that he talks about learning from the age. That is something perhaps that we can use and run with in terms of, and also I think, Roger, we have written a paper on that, learning, bringing the margins into the mainstream. So along that line, I think to position the communities in a place that they have authority, not only in discussions like this, but also in the writing, because at the end of the day, people across the world will be referring to what is written in terms of text. So those are the things perhaps we can look into. And I think John has, JP has raised an important dimension, also an element that we need to look into as well, to adopt, because many of these communities, they do, and so, I mean, not many, some of the community scholars, perhaps they don't write, but they have, as orally based communities. We don't have, we are not writing communities, we are orally based communities. So maybe that is also, we can, I don't know whether we can capture those things, their ideas and their notes in audios and videos that we can use as part of our extension of the knowledge that we do have as a group. So, and that could be one of the programs under the community scholars. How do we, disseminate the knowledge that they have? So to treat them as our partners and same level collaborators in our work. Yeah, perhaps. Yeah. Thank you, Roger.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Thanks. Lovely contribution. So before we move towards the end, I just want to raise a couple of other points. Firstly, have we had any media coverage for the event? Do we need a press release? I mean, maybe even just the community scholar program is worthy of a press release.
Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to talk with you about this morning, actually, to come up with a press release on the community scholars program.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's something as an action item going forward. The last item, I'm getting a message from Tran about doing something similar. Let me read it out. We are from FIDR, Japanese-based NGO. We are so interested in EBKF. Your approaches are so similar to ours. We also do love to join and learn and share. How can we join your network? Well, you already have done, is the answer to that. So there's so many ways of contacting any of us. You choose whichever one is most convenient to you, and tell us about yourself and whatever ideas you may have, and let's see if they resonate with our own and how we can move that forward. I must say it's delightful to have people like yourself coming in.
Roger, can I
Yes.
interrupt briefly because Elias is with us, so maybe
Okay.
if we just before his data runs out, so he's here to perform a piece for us.
Okay,
Yes.
ready now. So over to Elias.
Elias.
Halo, selamat sore. Halo, selamat sore. Selamat petang.
Selamat petang, selamat sore, Pak.
Ya, selamat sore.
Tang. Hai.
Ya. Hai semua ya. Terima kasih. Ya. Seperti apa saya bisa cerita ini? Pak Prof, Dr. Poline,
Ya, bisa.
saya mau cerita apa? Saya cerita apa atau performance?
Ya, performance.
Oke,
Oke.
ya, saya ada berapa waktu ya? Berapa menit?
Ya, berapa 3, 4, 5 menit pun boleh.
Oke, ini yang
Pak John pun ada dari
hasil
Barrio. Ya.
Ya, oke ini namanya flute tradisional ya, namanya telingut. Kita sedang menghayati, memotivasi dari apa yang sudah kita bicarakan beberapa waktu ini. Semoga menjadi harapan impian nyata. Oke, kita renungkan ya. Sudah. Bagaimana bisa didengar dengan baik?
Ya, bisa dengar dengan baik. Teruskan.
Oke, yang ini keng. Keng ini mereka terinspirasi dari jolokan buah ya. Biasanya sticknya panjang, 3 sampai 4 meter, jadi tidak harus manjat di atas pohon. Mereka akan petik saja dan akan patah. Waktu jatuh ada bunyi, jadi mereka terinspirasi buat alat musik. Ya. Oke. Yang terakhir itu pasangannya tadi Keng. Yang ini Ruding. Ada ceritanya sepasangan pemuda yang berpacaran. Kalau yang ini yang ceweknya, yang tadi yang cowoknya ya. Oke. Yang ini Ruding. Demikian, semoga berkenan. Terima kasih.
Terima kasih.
Cukup ya.
Terima kasih.
Terima kasih Pak Elias. Thank you.
Sama-sama.
Terima
Harap
kasih
jumpa
Pak
lagi
Ellias
lah.
dari Baro.
Sama-sama.
Saya berterima kasih dengan Ibu Christina, Ibu Fomadat sekarang.
Iya Pak John. Kenapa enggak diundang dia? Hah? Lain kali. Sudah pindah dia.
Sebenarnya
Agak jauh.
Memang Pak John ada sebut nak jemput dia, tetapi saya minta maaf sebab terlalu sibuk lah, kerana kita pun bukan cari alasan lah, tapi kali ini saya terlepas pandang lah, itu saya minta maaf lah.
pesanan untuk Pak Elias. Pesanan untuk Pak Elias, nanti kalau boleh Pak, kita memberitahu rakan-rakan Pemandat Indonesia tentang IBKF ni lah. Jadi oleh kerana mereka yang lain tidak mengikut, jadi kita jadi ambassador ataupun orang tengah untuk memberitahu Pemandat Indonesia. Terima kasih.
Baik-baik, nanti saya buat laporan. Terima kasih Pak John.
Tahniah Pak, tahniah sebab diundang menjadi cendekiawan penyelidik bagi kami. Terima kasih.
Terima kasih Pak Prof.
Terima kasih Pak Elias. Terima kasih.
Terima kasih Dr. Poline. Sama-sama.
Ya. Di Terang Baru kah? Atau di Lombawan?
Saya lagi di WiFi publik yang kita punya office, vouchernya habis, jadi belum top up. Saya harus lari-lari cari WiFi yang bagus.
Oke. Ya, terima kasih. Terima kasih banyak-banyak.
Sama-sama.
Pak Elias, IBKF tidak lengkap tanpa persembahan daripada Pak Elias. So terima kasih sekali lagi kerana membuat the final topping, final touches to IBKF. Thank you Pak Elias.
Wow, makasih Pak. You're welcome. Thank you very much. Okay.
So that's all from me, Nara. So who closes the event?
Thank you very much, Roger, for the wonderful sharing. I mean, it was a simple sharing, and there is no formal closing of any sort. But before we conclude, I just have to say thank you to the participants from FIDR from Japan for staying with us. I think over the past 4 days, I've seen your names. Thank you. I can see that there is some interest from your side, and probably you see some sort of a common purpose. So if there is an intention to collaborate, as what my colleague mentioned just now, Dr. Poline, I think we are open and we look forward to any form of potential collaborations. And well, all you need is drop us a line and we can start from there. Apart from that, I see Amit. Thanks for joining us, Amit. Well, is there anybody else that who we need to acknowledge, or in a way, just to well, say hi to? If we forgot, please let us know.
It's Amit, thank you very much. That's a very good comment from very good observation. Congratulations, EBKF committee members, on this wonderful workshop. Times changed. 3 years ago, I'd never imagined that voices of community would reach worldwide audience. This is truly amazing. Yeah, things have really changed. Yeah. So we are
Kau punya belum.
truly, we are honored to be able to be part of the of a team to position the voices of, you know, some people call the voices from the periphery to become prominent in a platform like this. So yeah.
And let's not forget a big thanks to NARA's technical team, Tim and the rest of them, and all the administrators, Farina, and everybody else behind you, working, I know, madly, keeping the emails flowing and the WhatsApp group working. Everybody did a great job. It's just phenomenal. I'm totally in awe of the whole thing. Yeah, so big hand to them.
On behalf of the community, I would like to thank the organizer for being very patient with the community, because we have a lot of up and down, a lot of obstacle. And I think thank you very much on behalf of the community who participate. And thank you for UNIMAS for being very patient to the community. Okay, bye.
Thank you.
Thanks, John. Thanks, Lian, for being the connect to the community. I think having your place made a difference, especially with the children.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Yeah. There's Alistair. Maybe Roger, you want to read what Alistair wrote there on the board?
Thank you all for a wonderful conference. Sadly, I could not attend everything, but I hope to catch up with recordings. I would like to echo Prof Nara's comment that we need friends and for more people to know about what you do. A press release was a good suggestion. I mentioned in an earlier comment that I've met Miri residents who haven't heard of Mulu, and I've met many Kuching residents who have little or no knowledge or experience of the Ulu. We risk working in a bubble. At the same time, successful community projects like Senior One have involved local people. How do we encourage more knowledge of Sarawak to urban Sarawakians? Could we have a travel pass to encourage Sarawakians to explore their own state more? Can EBKF be a platform for this? Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
So there's some something to think about.
Yes.
Okay, point taken.
And,
So maybe, perhaps we're spreading worldwide, but from what Alistair is saying, we're overlooking people on our doorstep.
Excellent, Roger. Well, I just like to say we did all the things we planned, except one thing. Answer Roger's question just now on Johari said next year is EBKF 9. So
He did.
The answer for that is yes.
Way.
Okay. Well, but not Nara is going to lead. Poline is going to lead.
We'll work as a team again. EBKF is a teamwork. So now
Yeah.
Now you have to bear with the woman leading the team.
Okay.
I can hear you three laughing.
Well, I think we have a strong team, so I'm not worried, and we just continue the planning. Don't stop the planning. Don't stop the dreaming. Let's go and get our next target. Roger.
So we
Great. Well done, guys. Hey,
Yeah.
I've got nothing to do tomorrow. Can't we carry on for another day?
Come and have coffee in Barrio. How about that?
Yeah, I'd love to.
So the
I've got a
next,
group photo, guys. You always arrange a group photo.
Yeah.
That's
Corina, how do we get everyone in one? Can you put everyone into become on the panel? Yeah. Transfer everyone to become on the panel. Hey, itu Councillor John Terawih. Ada
welcome.
Apa ketawa dengan saya? Saya ini tukang EGU saja.
No, there's another one here, Councillor John Terawe. Muka dia keluar, muka perempuan.
Perempuan dia, penset.
Because I have
I've been using his connection.
Okay. Hey, Amit. Oh, Jaya.
Ismail, are you around? You can join from the bottom. From the other left.
Oh, that's why FIDR. So the next EBKF will be around, EBKF 9 will be around the same time next year. Yeah. So we have 1 year to plan.
Oh, berarti tiba-tiba kamu muncul. Lebih sama. Bagus juga.
Pak Ellias. Pak Ellias buka video gambar video.
Hai Amit. Bagus. Satu, dua.
Sebelum lupa, saya mengucapkan terima kasih ya. Terima kasih atas anugerah tadi malam. Itu akan memotivasi kita untuk tetap berkarya. Nah, terima kasih Pak Prof, Pak Roger, Prof Narayanan, dan Prof Dr. Poline. Terima kasih.
Sekali lagi yang terakhir.
Terakhir.
Ya. Tampilan 1, 2, 3.
Okay, bye.
Okay.
Thank you.
All the best. Thank you very much.
Bye bye. Terima kasih semua.
You robbed me of hair.
Roger, I took your hair.
Look.
Yeah.
Roger.
Okay. This photo I'm going to share with everybody, Roger.
Good to see everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, good to see you, Amit. Whereabouts are you now?
So nice to see you all, and it was a wonderful workshop. And I was really enjoying each and every moment when I was hearing the songs played by the communities. I mean, it's really amazing to hear their voice.
Yeah.
I mean, reach out to Japan. I mean, it's really amazing.
Did you meet the Pretty from Nepal yesterday?
I could join only a few sessions. I think yesterday. I think I joined on a couple of sessions yesterday.
Yeah.
But I think I was there.
Nepal joined us yesterday.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I will have a look at it again to see. Better know.
He was a Garka.
Ah, I see.
He's a Garka who lives in the UK, but now has gone back to Nepal doing community work.
I see.
Yeah.
I will try to find more about him.
Yes. Pak Ellias, terima kasih. Good to see you.
Bye bye everyone.
Ya, terima kasih.
Tran.
Bye.
Iya.
Bye, dear.
Sampai jumpa lagi.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Thank you to the great
Bye-bye
team.
semua, terima kasih.
Timothy, Karina, Kak Bunia,
Panjang umur.
Kamora, Kaki, Ana Yusri, and Mail, and Chris. Thank you. And then also Haikal. Yeah, thank you. Terima kasih. Roger, you're becoming more and more.
Yeah, I know. I'm fading away. Hold academics don't die, they just fade away.